To my YouTube channel. Welcome to my podcast. Man, I've got a massive whiteboard and there's so much stuff written on there because I want to give you so much value today. So I'm hoping I can get through it all right? So it is about Christmas and preparing for Christmas. And I don't know anyone who says, I just want an average Christmas. I think we all want the best Christmas we can, what we can provide for ourselves and provide for others. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to almost break it down into 3 stages, and then in that third stage, I'm going to break that down to get a really clear picture of what you actually want for this Christmas season. Many times that I've spoke to men and they realise, man, I didn't even have a plan. Well, you can imagine how that's going to pan out. So, and I remember before I had a family, this is the God's honest truth. I remember one of my first Christmases after I got a family and got sober and got things on track was I actually didn't even know how long it was between Christmas and New Year's. I always seemed to be just in another planet, drunk and just carrying on. It's just almost like my Christmas started mid-December and went to mid-January till I had to go and get some money and go back to work. That's kind of what it was like. It was a blur. So if you don't want a blurry Christmas, listen to this. And of course, if you're listening, if you listen to my stuff before, I always encourage every man to get a pen, get a bit of paper, get something to take down some notes, because I believe you're going to hear some nuggets today, some things that'll make your Christmas better than it's ever been, and not just for you but for your loved ones. So I think when it comes to Christmas and getting a really clear plan, this doesn't matter if this is not for if you're only married or if you're only single or if you are just come out of a divorce. I've been endeavoring, and we've been putting quite a lot of good stuff on YouTube, in the podcast, in our Man Alive Facebook group, to help men really have their, a great Christmas, maybe if they're approaching their first Christmas after their family dynamics have changed through separation, divorce, maybe separated from their kids. So make sure you go and have a look at these other videos if that's your situation, or even if you know somebody going through it. I'm sure there's some good videos that you'll be able to pass on. That's along with maybe their circumstances. So I want to talk about Christmas to start with. That I want to talk about Christmas Eve, because you've got to have a plan there. Christmas Eve, what is that? This is maybe, like I said, taking notes. Because every family, every culture is kind of different. So I remember when I was younger, I said, for the Milligan side and the top side, we go to the tops in the morning and then the Milligans in the afternoon. And because my grandparents, my Milligan side, they had 7 kids as well, there was just people everywhere, and it was a great. It was amazing doing that first part of the day with the toppies, and then transition to early hours of the morning with and it would always end up, we'd always end up in the backyard, all those kids, and then normally around dinner time, after dinner was cleaned up, and then the table was cleared, and then it was almost all the men turned it into a poker game. So it was exciting as a kid, listening and watching and what have you. But Christmas, so what I'm saying is, if your family dynamics have changed, or maybe you've got too many people to see, or maybe you don't have anyone to see, okay, I want you to what works for me is actually planning out Christmas Eve, what are we doing? What are we doing Christmas Day, even, up until lunchtime and then lunchtime onwards? We've got a plan around our house, what we're doing, even though we're in another country at the moment. And then Boxing Day, and actually I'm saying that we don't even have a plan for Boxing Day yet. And that's what makes me, realise, man, you got to have a plan. So, and I mean, the other thing we're going into Christmas, we're going to look at I think that maybe time off of our work, off of our business, that kind of thing. So, and it's always going to come down to communication. Communication with loved ones, communication with business colleagues or customers and that type of thing. So we've got to have a plan. And it always my ears would really prick up when I'd hear people say, I can't afford to have any time off. So, man, what do you mean? You can't afford that? Well, they just haven't managed their money well, or crisis has happened, and which hey, it may be too late to plan that now, but use that as fuel, maybe give that to you going into the next Christmas season. Don't forget that. So for example, a lot of people finish around the 20th that I'm talking to, and that weekend, and just to have some downtime, and then obviously the Christmas. That's what you got. So if you're listening, maybe who do you need to talk to? Family, friends, or maybe if maybe you don't have anyone. Who is it you can talk with that you can pull people together and plan something around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Christmas lunch? Because there's plenty of places you can book. Invite a couple of mates along, or maybe distant cousins or some kind of connection. Maybe there's people who actually need they need some people around. So get those 3 days. I would suggest get those 3 days planned out. And like we talk about, what sort of a Christmas do you have? How long is your break? Is it just the main days? Have you got 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I don't know. For me personally, I'd suggest, for me, I'm going to wind things up around the 20th, and then, going into the Christmas Eve, it's going to be a lot of rest. It's going to be, family flying in from different parts of the world. I've got neighbours that in the street, a lot of expats, so from different parts of the world, so connecting with those guys. And like, for example, Christmas Eve, my local church here in Mull, they're doing a Christmas Eve party, carols and etc. So it's great for everyone, the kids and whatever. So that's exciting, and of course Christmas Day we've got a few things planned, and that's what I mean. You have to plan them with Christmas lunch, and then we've got all our neighbours in the afternoon, and then one of my daughter's boyfriend's got a family thing that night. So I don't know if I'll be going that far. That's a big day. So, gentlemen, I'm just saying this stuff, and I'm doing just to start to. You got to have a plan, gentlemen. You've got to have a plan. Well, if you don't got to do nothing, but if you don't, it's kind of a lucky dip if it's going to be a good Christmas or not. So what I want to get to around this time, planning this time that you had, and listen, for me, leading up to Christmas, is going to be a lot of rest. Okay, going to be a lot of rest. Those Christmas couple of days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, don't know what I'm doing Boxing Day yet. Probably nothing. And then through that Christmas, to the end of the year, and I know I've got something planned New Year's Eve with a group of actually some people from our church. So we're going to do something amazing there. And then I'm going to have that next week just to chill and be with loved ones, with family, etc. So this is what I'm talking about, the 4 types of holiday, or what's sort of that Christmas season, what are the 4? I think there's more than 4 types. This is four types that I've been thinking of. And what I want to talk about is rest. Do you need rest? For this Christmas break, do you need rest? Okay. The second one that I think about is adventure. Do you want an adventurous Christmas time? You know, let's get real clear, gentlemen, on what we want. And for, you know, parts of it, like, or do you just want to really celebrate it and spend time with loved ones, people that maybe you haven't seen for a while, just to bring them in tight and just spend that time together, you know? Or this fourth thing that comes to my mind is do you need it to be a time for a reset? You know, for just to actually have a reset. And for me, I suppose what I want, what I'm going to have is actually a blend of those things, okay? And what I mean by that, and it will, even if we need a rest, I need a rest, okay? I need, and I mean, you might think, Gav, what do you need a rest from? Because I get those messages, you know. Man, you're in the middle of the Mediterranean, you're living the dream, you're doing this. Yeah, I'm on mission, man. I'm on mission. And when you put your whole heart into something, you know, you need to have I don't care what you're doing, you need to have a rest from it. And then particularly I would say a lot of business owners, whereas you can make really poor decisions from a place of being tired. Okay, so and particularly, you know, you might be an entrepreneur, a business owner, and you just need a rest from decision making. You just may have decision fatigue. You know, that could be, you know, you're watching this YouTube, man, that's you. Give me a thumbs up. Hey, man, like, I need a rest. I don't want to make any decisions anymore. I'm done. Or it could be the weight. This is what I think for a lot of business owners, it could be the weight of the responsibilities, carrying people, feeling like you're carrying people's wages even. They're their family. So it could be just you need a break from that, you know. But what I think for a lot of men is, you know, if we don't have that rest, you know, we just operate at less and less and less capacity, you know, and this is what I would suggest. Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm not suggesting, I'm doing it, and you can do it as well. So for example, I think for a lot of businesses, we need to set up like automation. Things need to be emails automated, phone automated. You know, there's a lot. We need to have a rest from you know, I can't speak social media. Okay, it's going 24. We live in a 24/7 world. You know, the man life experience, man, there's people everywhere. Yeah, it's 24/7. So I need a rest from that. You know, just because I know I'm not going to be my best in 2025 if I don't have that rest. So really, I would say for business owners, if you want to rest, you need to look at systemizing. What can you systemize and automate so that the mission goes on, the business goes on, you keep contributing to people's life, keep serving people, but it's on automation. It's your idea, man, and it continues. So that you can rest. So the second, adventure. Do you want an adventure? Is this holiday about adventure? See family, whatever, and then grab your family, or maybe you're a single fella, whereas, man, I'll go and see Nana, or I'll go and do it, and I'm out of here, you know. So I would imagine if that's you, you already booked some things. You've already got some things set in place. But you know, for a lot of the time, I think when I come from that place of rest, actually those adventures actually come out of me. So it's I think it's care. What I've had to be careful of is when I've had those adventurous holidays, I've come back from those holidays feeling like I need a holiday. I'm tired. So I think for men, yeah, you might have the best Christmas. I think it's both. You know, it's for me, it's definitely both. But like when I come from that place of rest, like for example, I mean, for me, it's been a different year being in the Mediterranean, because I had actually planned to go back to Australia. I meant to be back in Australia now, actually. But man, when life's an epic adventure, so we'll be staying here a good while longer, maybe another year. So, but I've got all these trips planned, all these adventures planned in business with my inner circle program, different parts of the world. I'm looking at Africa, Italy, Croatia. There's quite a few things I've got happening, which I'm pretty excited. I'll be announcing. Hey, maybe while this goes out, I've already announced the March trip. I haven't told those blokes yet, so I'm not going to tell you. I'm looking at some motorbike trips. Goodness me, far out, man. Some of those enduro bikes are I'm looking at some camel through the Sahara. There's some awesome camel trips you can go. Man, come on, man, alive. So, and I'm also looking at some road trips with my family, around Europe and whatever, getting an RV. I've never thought about it in my wild dreams. My youngest daughter actually mentioned, I thought, well, it's probably a great idea. So I'm looking at different adventures. Remember, man, you might be a single guy. You might be looking at wrestling a tiger. Go for it. All right. You may have a small family. You might have a large family. You might have, you might, I don't know what season, maybe you got adult kids, it's another season, So look at these things, but you men that are planning adventures, make sure you rest. You got to rest, okay? And maybe it's time with loved ones, and this is like, may seem like a given, but if you want to have time with loved ones, and really every one of these categories all comes down to the same thing. We've got to communicate with people we love. We've got to communicate with our environment and tell them what we're doing. Even I know, for example, even Christmas, I've got 7 kids, and the vision must be clear. This is the sort of Christmas we want. This is before Christmas, this is Christmas period, and this is what I want to happen after. And we've got to almost, for want of a better word, I have to do it. I've got adult kids. For some reason, all my kids have got a big personality. Almost I have to enroll them in to what we're doing to make sure that everyone benefits. Everyone, I never want to be one of those guys, my way or the highway, So I'm careful for that, but I communicate. This is what I'm thinking, topics. What do you guys think? And that can be, I said, bring it back in. This is the direction we're going. So as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a leader, this is where we need to be good communicators, communicate the vision, and particularly when it comes to loved ones, and we plan those 3 days out, everyone's involved, the Christmas Eve, the Boxing Day, the Christmas Day, I'm very fortunate. One of my daughters is a chef. She's in her zone cooking, and she's already telling me she's been cooking down there today. Anyway, this is she's getting ready to do it. It's amazing. So, but I think, if we look at the family, that if we want to spend time with loved ones, we need to, I think, I would suggest those 3 kind of stages, before Christmas, the Christmas period, a couple of days, and then afterwards, depending on how long you've got off your business, your work, etc. How long does it go into? Is it all of January? Is it half of January? Is it the first week in January? Communicate so that you can plan things, and for me, I'm going to do a mixture, as I said, So I haven't fully planned out the second. I'm seeing what kids, will still be here then, with kids flying in from parts of the world and Mexico and so forth. So, and even with my church, some things we've got planned for New Year's Eve. Man, communication, gentlemen. So, it's exciting when you start to plan this. Particularly you get that Christmas music on, and hey, some of you, I'm sure there's men that are going to listen to this and think, oh, geez, I don't have anyone. Now is the time to start organising something, being a part of somebody else's, which I'll be talking about leading into it, but really about serving others and helping others, and but what I want to that kind of fourth thing that I'm thinking of is some of you fellas will need to press the reset button. You've worked your pants off all year, you're tired, you're thinking, man, how the heck, I'm just done with this year. This didn't go well, that didn't go well. So you press the reset, and I would say you use that. That's not how you want to finish your year. Feeling tired and stressed and not enough maybe resources and thinking what the heck happened. That comes down to really getting a clear vision, And even just I'm thinking of it. At the end of January, I've got a 5-day man challenge. Okay, so that might be something to look out for, to register for that 5-day man challenge, so that you don't repeat. So you don't get to the end of the year and think, oh man, I'm done. But in this reset period, which I'm kind of always, I kind of did it, but then I changed my plan. Hey, you can do that. But when I get away from that social media after a few days, when I start to press the reset, when I start to get rid of distractions and sleep in and just be, for want of a better word, kind of like just be kind to myself and look after myself and look after the people around me. The reset, what's really important starts to come back. I mean, hey, I'm living. I think I'm doing okay. I'm thinking about what's important, but man, I can get better. I can get better at it, and if I can, I reckon you can get better maybe as well. So when it comes to the reset, almost like my first 3 days, 4 days, I practice on. I've actually practiced on no social media, sleeping in, healthy food. Obviously for me, no alcohol. And I think if you really feel like you need pressure, you need to get rid of alcohol. You don't want to blur your thinking, but afternoon sleeps, maybe read some good books. For me, that slows me down. I'm very particular. I can't be reading things that wind me up. Autobiographies are really good for me, just to wind down, and slow walks. Okay, slow walks with my wife, my kids, my loved ones. Okay, just to slow down. Swims, like just things that just, hey, but nothing to do and all day to do it in. When I start to do that, I spend a bit of time there, maybe a week or so, I start pressing the reset. Hang on, this is what I really want. I start thinking like a genius. What I would consider, that is brilliant, some of the ideas I come up with. So I'm very careful not to dive into it, but actually start to write things down, okay? And that's what works for me. But gentlemen, coming to the end of this is what the main thing is for me, is who am I serving through this period, through this Christmas period? Who am I serving through my church? Who am I serving through my family? Who am I serving in my street, in my community? That's when I focus on those things. Obviously, as I'm doing those other things and I fill my tank up, man, that's how I have the best Christmas. So, gentlemen, not all of that's going to work for you. It's a bit like eating chicken. Take out the meat, what you like chewing on, and spit the bones out. But hey, if you know somebody who needs to hear this, by all means, share that with them, and I'll see you on the next video.